bright like an angel. She's my Model A Mabel.
Welcome to the Model A Mabel neighborhood. On the last video, we had successfully removed Mabel's head.
Because it's about ready to come out, finally. Yep, we're going to put the head right here on the corner.
The removal of the peripherals, such as the alternator and the hood, took 40 minutes. Extracting the head took 5 hours and 20 minutes for the total of exactly 6 hours right down to the old nose hair. Now it's time to remove the gasket. Start cleaning the block surface and sucking up all the old rust and junk that was spread.
And there it is.
Woohoo. Is that the old copper one?
Yep.
Yeah. That's an old copper one.
What a pain in the...
Niagara Falls!
So the next step is be cleaning this off. Right?
Clean, 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 clean.
We don't want to move that.
Yeah. Gotta stay away from that as much as you can. See, it was leaking here in the front, but I think just the gasket let go.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because it was more like right here. And that's where that is.
Yeah, I had remember that surface plate I used to have? They had that so you could take the head and lay it right on it, take a feeler gauge, go around and see if it's kind of laying around.
Yeah, this guy's bored. You had another flat.
My brother Dave, he was checking out Mabel's head and condition.
I don't feel no real high spots. That's good.
But there was a crack at a stud between cylinder 1 and 2. Mabel's gonna need a new head. Beans. More on that story later. Because several studs had not been extracted out yet, and they were demonstrating a high resistance upon applying pressure, I bought a stub extractor. The reason I chose this one, I will explain after we remove all the studs here. I really like the way Josh extracts the studs. He applies pressure slowly,
I got it.
and you can tell he is feeling the resistance and not wanting to go too far too fast.
Concerned about.
Yeah, the oil got, you can see where the oil, how far down it went. Yeah.
This thing turned out. Okay.
So always soak these with penetrating oil.
Yep.
Now it's down pretty low to the valve. There you go. You catch it on. Oops. That. It's a little tricky to use, in my opinion. Keep going.
Nope, I'm going to be up against this valve here.
Okay, went too
Nope,
low.
it might go over the top of it. Ooh. I'm just flexing that valve.
Yeah, I see it moving.
Okay, hold on. I got an idea to prevent that. Oops.
Now, this one scares me for a couple of reasons because it's by the up
We
one.
might have to rotate the engine to get it to close.
Yeah. To my thinking, the slow pressure gives time for the applied energy to focus on any existing resistance,
Get it to move.
whatever it may be. And hopefully, it provides time for the stud thread area to break down in resistance from tight to loose.
I feel more comfortable doing that.
I am replacing the studs. There seems no good reason not to do so, except perhaps saving some money, which is nothing to sneeze at. Further, from what I could find, studs today appear built as good as ones made in the past. Hopefully my small research was accurate.
Yeah.
Well, the oil didn't get
Good far in there at all. Yeah.
Not one at all.
Yeah.
This one.
Got it.
Got it. Okay. Broke loose.
Yep. Yes.
So far, that's been a good investment, huh?
What do you mean so far? It has been a good investment.
Well, we got one more to go.
Oh, you can see the oil got down in this one. See that?
Yeah. Yeah, the other one was dry.
Yeah, a little bit of oil at least got down in this one.
This one, yep. All right. This particular stud extracting tool grabs low. The advantage of that I will explain shortly. But first, one downside I see is that you have to be aware of the valves, especially the raised ones. You don't want to turn the tool and damage a valve. We dropped the valves to remove this stud. We marked a distributor location, as it is my hypothesis that when the head and distributor is replaced, the timing would be the same or close.
No, let me try going the other way.
There you go.
There we go. Now he's coming down now.
Yeah.
What a convenient little tool this is.
Yep, that was
Look at that. Okay, okay, get them kind of both down.
I got that at, I think, Mike's Auto.
Look at that. Okay, and then all I have to do is just spin it back this way.
Okay.
Oh, there's where it wants to grab.
Okay, good. Okay, this is going to be,
All right.
watch the radiator too. I can't see the bulb, so yes. Oh,
Got it.
all right.
We're in the clear?
We're in the clear.
Yep.
Yahoo. Yep.
We're okay?
Okay.
No damage to the block threads?
Yep.
All the studs are out in one piece. We're good?
Yep.
That was
All right.
the most dramatic part, actually.
And that tool is worth its weight.
That tool is worth its weight. If you have a Model A, you need, and you're going to do a head gasket, you need to get this tool. It's a mandatory. Well, if you're going to replace the studs. I'm getting the salvage tool.
Okay, you can try to back it up a little bit. Oh, there you go. There.
Okay.
I'll put this on the table.
I wonder how far the oil got down on this one.
I'm going to predict not very far, although it came off easier than I expected.
It was just...
It was probably the toughest one, though, right? In your opinion?
No, I think the one over here came out tougher. The one that we, didn't see much oil creep on.
Yeah.
It came out tougher than this. This one I was worried because, the structural integrity had been...
This is the one that gave us the trouble getting through. And looking at the video, it's when we cleaned off the threads. Mm-hmm. I think there was a little burr on it. And we cleaned off the threads. And then
I was most worried about breaking this one because it was so thin in the center compared to the other ones. Well, I don't think any oil got down in there.
Looks like it's
Maybe a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Hear it squeaking?
Yeah. Yeah, it's dry. Yeah, it's dry. It's dry to me from my bad eyes.
It's dry, but it's out in one piece.
Yeah. All right. Mabel is studless.
All right, and I can rotate the engine back to where it was.
Okay.
back to where it was because we marked it. Boom, there it was.
That's all right.
Yeah, look at all that debris.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to turn off this here, and then you can tell me what I need to do in terms of getting this more clean. All right.
Okay.
After a bit of research, I chose to purchase the Lizile 71200 stud remover. It cost me $32.88, tax included. There was another one that attached to the stud that looked like a drill head clutch. Thus, it gripped the stud at the top with a 3/8-inch square drive. Now, I worked nearly 40 years in research and design of microelectronic components. Therefore, I tend to look at everything from an electronic circuit viewpoint, and that even includes mechanical constructions. This is just the way I have come to see it, and it certainly isn't the only way, nor suggested to be the best way. Here is the mechanical circuit through an electrical circuit eye. It is composed of the wrenching device, the stud, the threads at the block, and finally the block itself. I think of the stud as a transmission line for the applied energy. It is taking in the difference in potential between point A and point B. Again, it really isn't amperage, but application of displaced energy. Well, in my mind, actual science may differ, just showing how my melted electrical circuit brain is thinking. The stud remover will be the voltage source. The stud above the thread point is a resistor. The stud thread point is another resistor. And the block will be the ground point. If I use the stud tool with the top application, the flow of energy will be displaced into the stud, top down to the grounding point. There are two resistors here, the stud thread point and the rest of the stud above. In my pea brain, it seems that we want to increase the wattage value of the resistor within the stud and reduce the resistance wattage value of the stud threads, making that the weakest point, which is point B. We want more amperage, or directed energy, at the stud thread point. Think of amperage as applied energy. Thus, amperage and energy are the same. In mechanical terms, we want to lower the energy in the stud and increase it at the stud thread point. That is why we put penetrating lube onto the threads, to try to reduce its resistance, or to take less energy to break it free, and induce a good failure. As you turn the stud at the top, the displaced energy is transferred down the stud, into the threaded area, and out into the block, the earth ground. If the applied energy cannot make it down to the block, as the resistance path is too high in the stud, it will fail at the lowest resistance point or the highest amperage or energy point. The stud itself is actually a weak point in this mechanical circuit, as it cannot take much twist energy, or amperage, if I may. Further, we have no previous knowledge of what the energy resistance level is at the threads to the block. If that resistance and wattage value is greater than the resistance of the stud above that point, the stud will fail before the good and desired fail point at the stud/threads. A significant flaw in the top of stud down removal method, I suspect, is that any bending of the stud will quickly result in, let's say, a pinched spot at the top of the stud thread area. It seems to me this would drastically change the flow of energy to the pinched point. A small concentrated area and the combination of energy/amperage flow through a smaller resistor/wattage point would quickly escalate into a catastrophic failure. I suspect it would not take much deviation from the 90 degrees to quickly change the value in the mechanical circuit. You essentially turn resistor 1, the stud portion above the block, into a variable resistor. Now, how can we mitigate the problem with the inherent low resistance of the extended portion of the stud? My hypothesis with the stud puller I used is that by grabbing as close as possible to the stud thread connection, we eliminate the weak resistance / wattage of the extended stud above. It essentially removes it from the circuit. Since this point of the stud cannot transfer any energy, the energy has nowhere to go. You could also think of it as that portion of the stud now has infinite resistance. The small portion below that goes quickly to the stud thread resistor, that small portion has a higher resistance than having the full stud in the circuit. The shorter the stud, the higher energy resistance it has. That's my hypothesis. And it's only a hypothesis. And remember, you are part of the mechanical circuit path as well. With the reduction of the stud made very close to the stud thread point, well, this should increase the resistance strength of the above stud, allowing more energy not only to flow into the stud thread area, but additionally eliminating the issue of bending and creating weak areas for the applied energy to find. Therefore, the probability level of the stud failing at the threads, a good thing, is made greater. In my retired work, empirical data was acquired to improve quality and reliability. In this hobby, it seems that the empirical data is not collected and left to each individual's interpretation on their own personal experience. So, please comment. If you have used the top and or lower stud pullers, relate your experience, and maybe an empirical picture of supporting evidence, one way or the other, may arise. Finally, certainly if such empirical evidence on a head puller exists, I would love to see it. Okay, this episode has become long. The next episode will be about cleaning the block, the new head, and the issues experienced. That's it. I hope I didn't mess anything up. And besides, what do I know? Thank you for coming into Model A Mabel neighborhood and watching. If you have subscribed, thank you. If you haven't, please do. And hit that like, and remember, it may matter where you crank on your stud.